The boys fall golf state tournament continues in the state of Iowa, but things were on a delay earlier as the field had to wait 30 minutes for frost on the course to clear up. After the course, frost on the course to clear up. After that, the golf would be played. It would be Anthony Galvin and Andrew Johansson tied at 144. Galvin would win the championship in a two-hole playoff. Two siouxlanders involved in the field. Jack White of Bishop Heelan improved his game by 4 strokes. His second round 75 would cap off the senior's career with a 154 at the state tournament. Good enough for a tie of 10th at 10 over. Sergeant Bluff Luton's Blake Harsma would post an 83 in his final round, finishing with a 162. Technically, he was in a tie for 18th, but congratulations to all the golfers out the Iowa High School State Golf Meet. Also in action, the Nebraska Girls State Golf Meet. In Class B, the Norfolk Panthers take home 10th place after shooting 793 as a team. A couple of individual scores from Siouxland in Class B. Madeline Finneran out of Norfolk finished tied for 20th at 29 over. Her teammate Leighton Hebb would post a score of 45 over. Madeline Bonet out of South Sioux would finish with a score of 195, 51 over. In Class C, the Wayne Blue Devils are your NSAA champions. The Blue Devils posted a team score of 696, good enough for first place by just 1 stroke. West Holt would finish in third with a team score of 163 over par. Laurel Concord Coleridge, the last Siouxland score on the leaderboard, they'd finish 7th. 199 over par. On the individual leaderboard, it was Carr Sushland of Minden taking home the top spot at 10 over. From Siouxland, the leader in the clubhouse, 5th place finisher Jocelyn Johnson, who shot a 166 over 2 rounds. Sorry, let me grab my breath. Not far behind her. Not far behind Johnson, her teammate Carly Canham at 24 over par. Delaney Knust would finish 8th at 27 over par. Charlie Severs from Wayne would end her high school career with a 13th place finish at 36 over. Pierce's Riley Altwine, Wayne's Lindsay Neiman, and LCC's Clara Brummels, they each finished with a score of 38 over par and a tie for 16th. Once again, congratulations to all the competitors at the NSAA State Golf Meet.
Yep, they all have lots to be proud of.
Yes, they do.